So this question comes from Calvin L. I got made redundant just under a year ago now and decided at this point in my life it was time to make a move on building my own company and branding in computer services and repair. My background is that I've worked for managed service companies as tech support and computer sales repair businesses. I currently have a few core clients that fit in the category that are about 20 to 30 users. I currently have a few contracts that I do for other mobile computer repair companies like a Mobile Geek Squad. However, only get very little of the fee that they charge their clients. My question to you is is that I want to grow my own company and branding as a computer services, but I don't have the budget that my competitors, e.g. my contractors, have. I've gone door to door to businesses, but don't seem to have much success with a lot of them, as most of them are fixed into contracts with other IT service providers or have in-house IT. I feel as if I'm almost at the break point where I have to decide if I want to keep doing this to provide an income or just getting 9 to 5 Monday through Friday help desk job. I do enough to break even for my business and provide an income for myself. Admittedly, it's not as much when I was working for someone, but still enough. I know new businesses take some time to get up and running, but I feel that I'm still sitting and I have no idea what I'm going to do. Tech-wise, yes, I know that what I'm doing, but getting business and new customer is harder than I thought. Why, yes, it is. That is one of the big problems when people, especially technology people, go out and start businesses, is they never think enough about the business component. So basically, this guy started his own little consulting company about a year ago. It's trucking along. It's paying the bills, but it's obviously not paying the bills well enough. So he's making enough money to get by, but he would literally be making more money if he went to be an employee somewhere else. So with this, there's a couple of questions that you have to ask yourself. The first question you have to ask yourself is, are you a decent business person? And that is something you just have to ask yourself. Like for me, I was okay with going out and banging on doors for 40 hours a week, putting up door hangers, doing all that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, although I disliked doing it, a lot of people don't realize that. I don't like the sales process. I don't like knocking on doors. I don't like handing out flyers. But for me, I knew what the rewards were if I did it. And so I went out there and I did it. So here in the Baltimore area, 98-degree weather, 100% humidity, and I was out there baking in the sun, putting out door hangers. Because I knew if I put out 1,000 door hangers, I get 10 clients. So in order to get 10 clients, I got to put out 1,000 door hangers, right? So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, really, do you have the business mentality? I mean, the business mentality is just effing slogging through it. For every 100 people you actually talk to, communicate with, you get one client. Sometimes that one client is worth $100,000. Sometimes that one client is worth $100. And that's the thing. Again, you go out there and you hear all the sales stuff and people are like, for every 100 people you talk to, you'll get one client. One of the things they leave out of that bit of advice is that you don't know whether that client's going to be worth lots of money or a little bit of money, right? So realistically, when you think about going out and talking to people, you're not talking about going out and talking to 100 people. You're talking about going out and talking to 1,000 people or 5,000 people, and you just got to grind and gruel and get through it. And if you do it, you'll be more successful, and if you don't, you won't. I know back when I was doing the consulting thing and I was trying to build the business, what I found for myself is every 3 hours of pounding the pavement equaled one client on average. On average. So again, you hear that, you say, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Well, here's the deal. Sometimes I would go out and in 1 3-hour period, I would get 3 clients. Sometimes I would go out and in 15 hours, so literally days of walking and pounding the pavement, I would get no clients. It averaged out to 1 client per 3 hours. But that can be a little more brutal than you realize. So one of the questions you have to ask yourself is, do you really have it in you to go out and to do that? And that's something I saw that as a big problem when I started hiring employees. One of the issues being your own business owner, especially if you're successful doing it, especially if it's easy for you, is you assume things are going to be easy for other people. And so that, when I was hiring technicians, that was one of my thoughts. Is it's like, okay, well, I'm going to hire this person And even if there's not computer repair work to do, what I can do is I can give them flyers and they can pound the pavement. So I'm paying them their good hourly rate, and I can just retask them as need be. You know, I don't want them to go out there and do any like high power sales, but you know, if you have an intelligent person who can communicate reasonably, they should be able to go knock on doors. And you found out that was a stupid idea. That was dumb because they don't, right? I would give them a bunch of flyers to go put out on cars or whatever else, and they would pitch a damn fit just because they really truly didn't feel comfortable with it, and they felt so uncomfortable doing it that it just became a nightmare to get them to go out to do. So one of the questions that you just have to ask yourself is can you do that business component? Can you just go out there and you can slog? The next thing you have to ask yourself, and this is what I try to pound into your guys' heads a lot, is this actually valuable? Computer services and repair. Again, I'm not saying there isn't money in computer services and repair, but this is more of that slog type work. I mean, it's just sit there, you slowly build up what you're doing. It takes a long time. It's a pain in the butt. Again, with this type of stuff, you have to get off of hourly work. You get on a maintenance contracts, so you charge somewhere between $25 to $50 per computer per month. You sign them up for a year contract. That year contract is worth anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000, and you go from there. That's how you have to do that business. Maintenance contract, you get them in, you lock them into the contract, and then you can build. And it's a hard way to go. It's honest. I mean, there is money there. In computer services, there's enough money there that, yes, you can do it as a business. And you can be successful at it. You can actually probably make millions of dollars doing it. But it's a bit of a slog. Whereas something you may think about is if you start doing things like web design, again, web app development, maybe you do surveillance systems, maybe within the technology world, you need to find a different product to sell. You know, when we were selling digital surveillance systems, those things were awesome. I forget what the profit margin was. It was like $800 profit for every camera we installed. Oh, it was beautiful, right? So maybe in your area you might think about doing things like surveillance systems, or now with the whole Internet of Things stuff going on, maybe you need to go out and look at selling packages for the Internet of Things. So maybe you can become the expert of home automation in your area. Again, there's a lot of money in that kind of thing. What else? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is I think one of the things you're dealing with here is simply the market you're going after just isn't that valuable anymore. And so you're going to be running into issues. So if I were you, I would be looking at things like web design. I would be definitely looking at app development. If you have any inclination to develop apps, look at app development. There's a crap ton of money. Like literally, there's this one guy around here, I talk about Todd Marks. He's a CEO, founder, whatever, of this company called MindGrub. And so MindGrub is a development company. So last time I was there, they had like 60. He started his development company about the same time that I got very serious into building my company with employees and having consultants. And as I say, I am now a YouTube personality, and he has like 60 employees. They just moved into their new headquarters building that has its own climbing wall. Like, he literally built a climbing wall in the headquarters building for his people, because they are making that much money. And again, that is what I want to emphasize to you guys, because so many of you guys, it's so sad because it's so self-destructive, is that, you know, I tell you guys, you know, computer repair is either dead or dying. It's like, no, I can still make $35, you know, doing a tune-up. And I'm looking around at these other people doing technology. Like I say, people like MindGrub or Smart Logic or even Tony Bagdon, you know, my old employee. And they're doing these app development things. And there's just, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the computer repair people are like, I can still make $35. And the development people are like, hey, look at the new climbing wall we built for our employees. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my thought. Are you really a good business person? And are you in the right market? that's something that you have to decide. And then at the end of the day, too, I mean, one of the calls you have to make is this just a bad idea? You know, there's different mentalities. Employees have different mentalities than bosses, than consultants. So for me, I would hate to be an employee again. I mean, I would hate to be an employee. So one of the things you have to ask yourself is, are you really cut out to be a consultant or to be a business owner? And there's no shame in saying no. Again, that's one of the issues I see a lot, is people feel as if there's a shame in saying that they're not capable of doing it. It's like, oh, no, I should be able to be a business person. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of, I know a lot of high-powered employees out there where I've talked to them and I said, so why are you working for this person instead of being out on your own? And they've said, I was out on my own for a year and that sucked. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So just some thoughts there, but